Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life. We've got an extremely special guest here today. I'm going to give you a little backstory of how we met. But we have Mel Clark here. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. I'm doing good. So we got introduced by one of my favorite people in the world, Ryan Breedwell. He's working with you and your husband, doing some financial planning and stuff like that. And I thought it was really interesting when we talked yesterday and you said, well, why would Austin help us? And Ryan said, because I asked him to, which is true. So I've been helping y'all with some Airbnb. I've been helping you with some coaching. We've become really good friends. And the reason we're having this conversation today, the reason that I'm doing this podcast, I was already going to have her on. It just so happens that the climate has shifted a little bit and out what's going on in America. And we thought it was an extremely powerful conversation. It was extremely raw. I got to hear some things that I don't experience myself. And it became reality. And I think it to myself the whole time, this needs to be shared. This is waste. It's not wasted on just one person, but it needs to get out there to more people. So, we're going to release this next Monday so people can listen to it all the time, but I wanted to stream it live so people could see it in real time. And we have no idea where the conversation is going to go. We're just going to talk about what she's doing and what she's got going on. And I think that the same with my addictions, drug and alcohol, by keeping stuff in the shadows and not discussing it, nothing gets solved. And that was one of the big themes of our talk yesterday. So that's why I choose to come on here and share her views and my views, and we'll just kind of go. So before we get into the whole thing, why don't you tell us a little bit about your childhood and your upbringing and kind of where you are today?
I grew up in inner city Memphis, in an impoverished area, to a single mom who had three sisters, and my mom and our family are extremely close. My grandmother and great grandmother, who are still living today, raised us very, very close knit. I didn't have a father growing up. I didn't know my grandfather growing up. My great granddaddy died when I was like 5 years old. So we went through a generation with no men in our family for the most part, raised by all pretty much single moms. I went to a very impoverished school, underfunded schooling, very limited education, I guess you could say. Later, once I got to high school, I got pregnant when I was 16. I had a baby when I was 17. So I had a baby by the time I was before I had a high school diploma. My great grandmother actually watched my baby while I finished my senior year of school. I had some great 12th grade teachers who was able to send my work home and give me what I needed to in order to graduate. So I did obtain a high school diploma. My great grandmother was like, "You're going to get it by any means necessary." So I did, because my great grandmother doesn't have a high school diploma. And so she helped me to get that. And so the statistics were like already stacked against me. First of all, being Black, growing up in the inner city Memphis area, grew up on food stamps. A single mom. My mom was a waitress, so she don't have a college degree, and so we didn't make a whole lot of money, but we had a lot of love. We did, eat and things like that. But like I said, it was about my cousins and all of us. We grew up, like I said, extremely close with no men in the family. My aunts and my mom worked all the time, so we all grew up at grandmother's house in a 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. So it was probably like 11 of us. Walking to school from this, small home, but we had a lot of love. We did. That's the one thing that we did have that got me to where I am now. So like I said, I had a baby at 17. Missed a lot of my senior year because my baby was very sick. So I didn't get a lot of what I needed my last year. So I really did the bare minimum. Barely maybe graduated with high school, maybe like a 2.3 GPA, and like just was, got out of there on a wing and a prayer, And I later met my husband, who had a high school diploma. Who had a college degree. My husband's 10 years older than I am, so he had a little more to, offer. And so he encouraged me. He's like, hey, why don't you go to school? Why don't you go to college? And I was like, I had a 16 on the ACT. I'm like, what college can I get into? I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, whatever. So, I ignored him for a long time on that. So I eventually, when I was about 22, I think, 23. I was 22. I went to University of Memphis. And when I sat in there, I was able to go to, I was 22 at the time. So I'm sitting in all these classes with these young freshmen who, a lot of young white freshmen that were like 18, 19, straight out of college. And I remember sitting there, I'm 22 years old. And as the professor is talking, and, a lot of it is foreign to me. I stayed at a tutor. I stayed, with in these different little workshops, so I can learn these different things that were not taught to us in our high school, And so I remember sitting there, like, man, I'm 22 years old. Like I said, I feel old, but I'm really not. But I feel old because all the freshmen are like 18 and 19 years old, right? And they're coming from like the suburbs of Memphis for all these different schools, like Houston High, Carterville High School, and they're going to the University of Memphis. They had 27 on their ACTs, and they were 18, 19 years old. And the professor would say something. I would raise my hand and ask a question that like an 18-year-old white girl was out of me would be like, you don't know that? I'm like, no, I didn't care, but it just kind of shed a lot of light that, man, our was extremely different. Like the education gap was just extremely different. And so, but I was able to graduate in 4 years flat. I put in the work. I do believe in hard work and perseverance. So I'm a first generation college student, later got married to a great man who gave me a lot of pointers, who helped me through college because he had already finished. And so like, here I am today, like with 3 children, my second home, a couple businesses. And so I think I'm doing pretty good for myself, despite where I came from.
No, you're crushing it. And when Ryan introduced us, I was like 5 minutes in, I was like, yeah, these are my people. We're good. Cause like, yeah, I love the struggle. And I love that the thing that really resonated with me, and I told you this yesterday, is that you're not going to let your external circumstances dictate your life. It's not going to happen. And you're just absolutely not. And what I find even more rewarding with you, and we've talked about this, and we're working on something right now where you're going to take the people around you and you're going to lift them up too. And you're going to throw down the rope, and that's what I get so excited about. And you're seriously taking, generations of, not going to college, generations of not, understanding some of this stuff. And you're having, which is a huge burden to carry, but you're happy to do it and switch the whole narrative. And you talked about yesterday that you don't even care about yourself, really. It's about your young kids. And that's what hurts you when all this is going on. That's what tears you apart, because you do live in a middle-class white neighborhood. You told me that. In Mississippi, and there are massive struggles still going on your daily basis. So why don't you share some of just kind of like open our eyes to that kind of stuff?
So the one thing is, my husband, he's a school teacher, as I am. So he teaches Monday through Friday, and then he works as a armed security guard at the IRS right here in Memphis, Tennessee, and just looking at his struggles of like working every single day just to provide like the same household and same household needs for his family as like our white counterparts are like, it's totally different. My kids go to a predominantly white school, being that we stay in a middle school area, middle class white neighborhood or whatnot. And like I said, it's predominantly white school, and I have to go to their schools and address so many of the small things, just like little nitpicking things where I just kind of feel like they're always like chastising my children, just like the smallest little thing. And in DeSoto County here, there is like a lot of racism that we experience. They suspend Black children at a higher rate than they suspend white kids. Just the fact that I'm from Memphis. My husband and I both teach in Memphis, and I felt the need to have to pull my children out of predominantly Black schools to get a proper education, put them in the schools with the predominantly white kids. So we know, like, just in our Black culture, we know that at the end of the day, white people are going to educate their kids. Like, they're going to get a quality education, period. So, and the same is not there for black people, for black children. Like I said, I teach in it, so I can tell the vast difference for the curriculums and the materials and things that are taught in our schools in the inner city Memphis versus what's taught in DeSoto County, where my children go to school. And so the fact that I've had to pull my kids out of a predominantly black school and put them in a predominantly white school to even get a fair share of education, like a fair shot. And it was terrible when I was there. So just imagine how much worse it's gotten, at this day and time, teaching in that same school district. Another thing is my son plays baseball, and he's pretty good at it. So, we know that's a predominantly white sport, like it is what it is, made up predominantly white men. And so Christian has experienced a lot of like racism on the baseball team, just not giving him the opportunity to be as great as he is. Like, I mean, to be honest, and like not to toot my son's on, toot his horn, but he's pretty much better than almost all the players out there when he's playing, like, period, and like, he's trained, he's very athletic. I'm athletic. I play sports, growing up in high school, my husband was really good at it. So, naturally, he's just a beast. He has it, and so just the opportunity, just watching them, how they water him down in the classroom, how they water him down on the ballpark, on the field, just sit him on the bench, I'm like, is this the Jackie Robinson days we're facing, and things like that. So the fact that I have to teach my children and show them movies like 42 and things that Jackie Robinson had to overcome in the game of baseball, like, it's still relevant today. And but it's such a watered down, minute way that they, that white people do things. They're like, oh no, that's not what it is. I'm like, that's exactly what it is, and I've had to call them on. I know they think I'm probably kind of crazy, but again, I'm very open about bringing things out of the dark and bringing it into the shadows. Like, I have had to go to my kids' school and ask them, if Christian was a white boy, would we be having this conversation? And then we just get this awkward silence. And then I'm looked at like I'm the crazy one, but in actuality, no, like, I'm just bringing it out of the dark into the light. Yeah. And so now they know, like, okay, her kids are not one to be played with. So I'm the one that have to be a straight up advocate. And don't get me wrong, that's not the first card I pull when I'm having an issue with my kids on a baseball team or in a classroom. I'm the type of person, I give you just enough rope to hang yourself. So I keep giving you a little more, because by the time I address it, I want to make sure that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because, just so you know, I haven't told you, but I played baseball and football in high school, and you're telling me that story, and I'm telling you, I don't even have to ask because you know the same answer. If your son was playing football, you wouldn't have these same problems.
Absolutely. And so it's funny you say that, because my husband's a football coach, right? Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why a lot of black kids, because I'm following another great guy who played pro ball. His name is D. Brown, and he's always interviewing a lot of white coaches from these different schools who are recruiting baseball players. And you will hear a lot of the white coaches always say that we can't hardly get any minority people to play the game, because they run away by the time they're 8 or 9. Because literally you have to like go to the battlefield in order to get your kids to play their game. And so that's why you get a lot of black players, a lot of black young kids going to basketball, going to football, because absolutely not, I wouldn't have this problem if my son was playing a black sport. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it'll be a totally different ball game. But like I said, I'm the type of person I love being an underdog anyway. It's so much power in being the underdog. Mm-hmm. So I just teach my son, like, yeah, you're the underdog right now. So how hard are you going to push? How hard are you going to persevere to get through? It's not as bad as the Jackie Robinson times, but there are a lot of things that we still face today in the game of baseball. And after everything that he had to endure in 2020, we shouldn't still be here.
And I think, to make a separate point, and mainly we're getting into who you are and your mindset and how we talk on a regular basis when we get on the phone. By you being who you are, right? And regardless of his struggles, right? In playing a black man playing baseball, you're not doing what other people do, and that's shying away from easy. And it's so easy for him to go play football, but you know that through this struggle, he'll be a better man and stronger, and he'll lead with impact. And so that's why if I could go down even deeper in a granular part, that's why I love it even more, because it's so easy to just like give up and walk away and just give up to our problems and say, that's just the way the world is. We could easily not be having this conversation right now. I could easily hide from this, but but I choose to not. I choose to lean into this because if we affect one person through this podcast or this live stream, to open up their eyes to what's really going on out there, and like, I'll be honest with you. I asked you yesterday straight up. I'll be 100% clear. I don't know how to help. I really don't. Because the problem is so complex. It's so much larger than me. But if this is my little part to give you a platform, I would have you on this podcast regardless if that's going on or not. So because I respect you and love you and have so much inspiration for you. So that doesn't matter. But I just think that it's really important to have this conversation. And so, you look at your son and he's crushing it, and you're doing investments, you got Airbnbs going on. And so you as a mother who have come from where you came from and you are here now, what are you hoping to leave to your, meaning when you're raising your kids, what are you telling them about, let's just say the white community in general and like what they're going to be dealing with? Or are you more concerned about, like stereotypical stuff? Or are you more concerned about violence towards them when you're like parenting, or is it a little bit of both is what I'm saying?
For my son, it's more violence with my son. Like I said, I've already had to explain to him maybe years ago, our number one thing, and I actually got this from a TV show, but I can't remember which one it was, but this black man was telling his black son that, you have to be 3 times as good to get half the credit as a white man. And so if I went in there now and woke him up, the first thing out of his sleep, if I told him, Christian, you gotta be 3 times as good, he's gonna say you get half the credit as a white man. He's gonna automatically know it because it's embedded in his brain. And so sometimes it really hurts because I have to teach my son at such a young age that people are going to discredit him. He's got to work 3 times as hard. People are going to mistreat him. It's a possibility that a cop could kill you just because you're black, and so I have to deal with that and teach them these things because it's our reality, and it's hurtful. It's very hurtful. Just trying to teach my kids these things, and they are so innocent in this situation, so they're looking like, Mama, why do we have to do that? Why is it like that? And then I have to go back and show them because they're kids, but they're not stupid. Like they can feel the tension. They can feel your energy. They know when they're being mistreated and misused. And so I have to go back and let them watch films like 42. I had to let them go back and watch the bus boycott, talk about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and why they marched and the things that they did, and like a lot of people say, oh, that was the old times, but it's the exact same thing we're still facing today. It's just a new way of doing it. They went from blatant racism. Now it's just a lot of systematic racism now, because if you look at the end of the day, like the white people, you guys own everything. Like all the grocery stores, all the store, we own nothing. And so we're at the end of the day, though we might not be in literal slavery where we're getting whipped and beaten, working for free, but at the end of the day, we own nothing. So we're still slaves to all of your systems.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm just going to be third party context here. Okay. Why is that? If I were to dig deeper, why do you feel like we own everything? Like, is it? I'm just asking from an outside point of view. Is it our fault that we own everything, or are we setting up systems and obstacles in your way that don't allow y'all to own stuff? I'm just asking because I don't know.
Absolutely. No, that's problem. Okay, so that we were enslaved for over 400 years, right? So we were brought over here on a freaking ship, not wanting to be here. We were brought over here on a ship, and when we got here, white people owned us. White people have 400 years of business planning on the backs of us. We worked for free. We were beat, raped, and killed for 401 years to be exact. And this is what we had to experience. So while we are working for free, being able to do very little for our own children, really being able to not really parent our own kids, right? White people had a 400-year business plan off the back. So you guys are 400 years ahead of black people when it comes to how to do business, because slavery was a big business for white men. So you guys got 400 years of that. Keep in mind, you didn't allow us to read. Like reading was like the ultimate no-no. So you guys have 400 years of education on the backs of Black people. So you guys have a 400-year head start on everything. You guys, once slavery was abolished, we didn't have anything when we left. And then it's like, oh, you have the same opportunity to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What bootstraps? What boots? We don't even have any boots. You know, so you guys owned all the land. You guys owned all the houses. You guys had all the business. And so that's what it was. And so that's the jump start there. You had 400 years worth of business plans off the backs of Black people. You guys had 400 years worth of education off the backs of Black people. So now you guys, slavery is abolished. Now we're free. But a lot of Black people had nowhere to go. They went right back to work for the white man to earn a nickel a day in order to keep a job. And so we're bringing that nickel home to our family, working hard, still pretty much enslaved, like by this part, because it's been institutionalized now. We've been doing this for 400 years. What else do we do when we don't have it? It's not like at the end of the road, somebody said, okay, the Clark family, here's your home, here's your 40 acres, here's it. Oh, no, we didn't get any of that shit. Like, we got nothing. And so we continued to work for the white man for a nickel a dollar. And then once it was time for us to, it was okay or approved for us to go to school, our Black kids were ridiculed. If you look at the Arkansas, that happened up in Arkansas, where those 8 Black children of the Little Rock Nine, those 9 children were trying to go to school with, white people. I mean, they had to call the freaking army out there in order for us to just go get a basic education. But these kids they couldn't fight back. They couldn't curse. They couldn't flip tables. They couldn't do any of those things. They had to go in and do the same thing Jackie Robinson did on the field, inside the classroom, just to get an education. And so we're 400 years behind with education. We're 400 years behind with business. And you guys have owned everything ever since then. And then if you wanted to take it a little deeper and a little further, in 1921 and 1923, we had Black Wall Street. We had the Rosewood, we had Tulsa, we had these things. We built our own Black business. So from somewhere, with God's grace and mercy and hard work and perseverance, we was used to hard work. We had been doing that for 400 years. So it's like, okay, let's figure out a way so we can build our own houses. So our men were building our houses for our families and starting business and things like that. And then guess what happened? The same thing that's going on in 2020, rioting, looting it, and burning our stuff all to the ground. So as we try to get a jump start and have our own business and have our own banking system and grocery stores and homes and schools for our people, white people came and burned it down. So guess what that did again? That set us back all over again. And they didn't do it once, they did it twice. Mm-hmm. That happened in Rosewood, Florida, in some part of there, and then Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so, I mean, again, not even though we're talking about this big thing that led from George Floyd's, the officer putting his knee in his neck and him, causing his death. But white people have had their knee in Black people's neck for over 401 years. Mm-hmm. Now that we are able to go and get a college education and get college degrees and do things and such like that, we're still back asking the white man to give us a job. Mm-hmm. White man to give us, we don't have our own things anymore. And so when it came to this riot and all this stuff going on, I was going through a process of grief. Even I had a moment why are they doing that? And then when I thought about it, I'm like, man, that's taught behavior. I remember reading stories and listening to. I got a great grandmother that's 95, and my great grandmother is 92. I'm sorry, and then my great grandmother lived to see 105. So I've heard these stories firsthand. Mm-hmm. Some of these stories are not some stuff I read in a book only. Yeah. I've heard a lot of these stories firsthand. My great grandmother is 92, and my great grandmother died in 2010 at 105. So I've had six living generations. So, like I said, a lot of these stories I've heard firsthand. So I know the things that we have suffered at the hands of white people. So is it white people's fault, and is it white people? Absolutely. Like I said, you came over here, you just conquered them, just took over the land from the Indian folk. Killed a lot of them, wiped them out, took the land, and then got Black people and make them work the land. And then now here you guys are 400 years ahead of us, and then you wonder why we can't pull ourselves up by our bootstraps when we don't even have a pair of boots.
And that's great, super powerful. But this is why it's an open conversation, because I'm going to push back a little bit. So then I see on the news there's a Black guy in St. Louis shooting a small business owner. How the fuck does that help? How does that help what we're trying to do? And the reason I'm saying that is, yes, there are asshole cops out there, but there's also a lot of good people out there, and there's good people like me and Ryan that are here having this conversation with you and are friends with
Right.
you. So explain to me how looting and burning down small business owners who already got destroyed with the virus, how the fuck is that helping what we're talking about?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we talk about, we've always known that black on black crime has been an issue, right? But when you throw a set of people in the ghetto with absolutely nothing, flash all these fancy things on TV and things that we want a fair share of the opportunity to be able to earn those, but those opportunities are not there for people. So what does that lead to when families are starving, when they're poor, when they're broke? What does that lead to? That leads to us doing that. That leads to us looting and rioting and taking things that are not ours. Now, don't get me wrong. Just like there are white ignorant people, and black people know that not all white people are this way. We know this. It's just the fact that we can't get white people to understand that not all black people are thugs. Not all black people are ignorant.
You get what
I'm saying?
Hallelujah. If that's not the most, that needs to be said again. Say it again, please.
Okay. Black people understand that not all white people are racist. Not all white people are ignorant. Not all white people are stupid. I promise you. You can talk to any. We know this. What we cannot get white people to see, that not all black people are ignorant. Not all black people are thugs. All of us are not thieves. So if we can figure out a way to judge people, like Martin Luther King has said 1,000,000 times, judge people about the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Because, like you were saying, how does killing a black on? That was fucking ignorant. That was stupid. That was stupid. And we do have some ignorant, dumb black people, but same thing with ignorant, dumb white people. The only thing we can't get white people to see that not all of us that are black or dark African descent, all of us are not ignorant. All of us are not stupid. And so white people, I feel, just categorize all of them, which is us, like, oh, all of them are dumb. All of them are ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And if we are lacking something, it's not by choice. Like, well, we choose to be dumb. No, that's not the case. The systematic and the system that's been placed ahead of in front of us is what got us here. So what happens is when I can just use my brothers for instance. I have two black brothers. When we talk about the black on black crime, when Reginald killed Rico, Reginald's gonna go to jail and do his 25 to life. So black on black crime is a big issue, but at the end of the day, if Reginald kills Rico, Reginald is taking his black behind the jail. He's going to get his 25 to life with no problem. And then they're not going to paint it on TV as if, oh, it was an accident. Maybe they were wrestling and that's how the gun went off. I mean, they're not going to water it down like it's anything other than a cold-hearted murder, right? But when our white officers, or when you got Neighborhood Watch killing Trayvon Martin, and when you got freaking joggers, freaking people in white men in the neighborhood want to get a gun and shoot a black man jogging. Oh, let's figure out a way to water that down. That happened February the 23rd, and it's just now coming out to light. If that was some black people killing some folks, that would have been on the news in 30 seconds, flat.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And guess what? These police officers are going home on suspension with pay back home to their families, while our black moms are somewhere sobbing and boo-hooing because all her son wanted to do was take a job. All Trayvon Martin wanted was some freaking Skittles. And they had already had George Floyd in the back of a car. Why did you take him out and put your knee on his neck? You know, and so these officers, and even though they are being charged, will they be convicted? Because guess what? If Reggie killed Rico, Reggie's going to jail doing that 25, and he's going to get convicted. So that's the difference with the black on black crime and when white people kill us. They're going to water it down. They get to keep their job, and they go home to their family. They get convicted, but they're never charged. And that's where the riot, that's where the looters come from. So I saw a post on Facebook, and it was a sign it was held by a white man, and he said, the sign said, how can we tell black people not to burn down what they built for free? How can we tell black people not to burn down what we build for free? Our wonderful 45 Trump, the house that he's in, black people built that.
Yeah.
We just never get the black president in
that's a powerful sign right there. Holy shit.
I mean, black people built it. And we're just now, our 44th president happened to be black, like out of all this time. I mean, you can just look at it. It's just been systematic racism since the beginning. So you guys had a 400-year head start on us about everything. So yes, it is.
But and what I want to focus on for the next part of the podcast, because even though you feel that way, even though that you see it, your eyes are open to it, I know that you on a daily basis, like you might fight through it, but you don't let those things, like you're still going to push forward. So what I want to focus on now is what can we do as a community, as a whole community. And me and you're working on something. That's what we talked about yesterday. And I was, to say taken aback would be an understatement. I was a little taken aback. You're like, look, you know, a lot of my friends don't even know what debt leverage is. They don't know how to get a mortgage. They don't know credit cards. You know, they don't even know these simple money options. They don't even, not even that they're not available to them. They don't even know.
Absolutely.
And so I told you, and I know Ryan's in, so I don't even need to ask him. I told you that I'm committed, you know, once a week, once a month. I don't care if it takes me 3 hours, 10 hours. I'm going to teach classes to all your friends, anybody that you can get involved, and I'm going to teach them about Airbnb, debt, all those kind of things, because I just want to give my time as much as I can. So if that's my part, the way I can help, then I'm all in. So the question is like, what do we do as a society because the conversation is real, it's happening, shit's changing.
Absolutely.
So what do we do from today moving forward that can start mending fences and start pushing us forward? Because I choose to be happy. I choose to be positive. I know you do too.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about how we can push forward and kind of, you know, rise us up. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I mean that's what part of the reason why I believe in networking, the power of networking, and good people, good Black people like me, and good white people like you. If we can come together and have these honest conversations, and you guys are willing to teach the things that we don't know, and we're willing to learn the things that you all have to offer, we're willing to learn. We want to know more and do more, and it's just like I said, it's all about networking. You know, I've learned a lot of things from great Black men. I've learned a lot of things from great white men. So we have to network. We have to work together. We've always been better together. You know, they say united we stand, divided we fall. So we can get to a place where we can unite, and we can leave ignorant people where ignorant people are, no matter where the color of their skin is. And then us good people who are for positive energy, who believe in the spirit world, who believes in God, who believes in unity and love and things like that. And we can just come together and do things and lift up one another, encourage one another, and white people can open the doors for Black people, especially those that are serious about, you know, learning business and getting to the next level and doing different things. Just give us those opportunities. Give us the opportunities. And so if we can get the opportunities and get the training and get the knowledge, because I ran that by a couple of my friends that, you know, that are like, hey, I got, you know, I mean, they know who y'all are because I talk about y'all often. So they're like, yeah, I like Ryan and Austin, well, you know, wanting together and, you know, kind of do a like financial workshop like once a month with us and teach us about trust funds and money and budget and saving and life insurance and things like that. But a lot of our people are so like, what are those things? They're like, okay, yeah, I need that. Yeah. You know, and so as the people, for people like me who are on the rise, who are working diligently and hard and persevering to get to the top, we got to learn how to throw down the rope and get our people and bring them into the circle so they can learn how to do things as well. So it's just about unifying, passing down the knowledge, helping one another, and opening the door. And like they say, we just get white people get their knee out their neck and give us an opportunity. We don't have to lose. We don't have to burn. I don't do that. I feel no need to have to go steal a television. You know why? Because I can buy one.
Yeah.
I don't have to go steal the latest iPhone and break in the store. You know why? Because I can buy one. But that story is not the same for my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
You know, everybody doesn't have that level of perseverance, that push through. And now when I look back on it, like I said, with God's grace and mercy is why I've even had the opportunity to be where I am today. And a lot of people, you know, our people, we get hopeless. So we got to find hope again. We got to know that there is if you believe that there's something better, that there is, and that we can work diligently and get there. And if you open up your mind to receive these things, you will meet awesome white people like Austin and Ryan, like those kind of people.
And I'm going to make
open up your mind.
And I'm going to make a point, and you hit it right there. That's it. That's the spot. I will give all my time and all my knowledge and all the people that have poured into me. But you as a people, white, Black, purple, it doesn't matter. You have to be open
absolutely
to the idea of it. And
Absolutely.
that's my problem with society on its whole. And I did a podcast that will release on Wednesday about absolutes. Everybody lives their life on absolutes. Well, it's always going to be a problem between black and white. I'm always not going to get the opportunity that I deserve. If you believe that, the opportunity might be in your effing face and you're not even seeing it.
Absolutely.
That's my problem with people in general. It doesn't matter the color. This world is full of opportunity if you open your heart and your mind to it. This conversation right now is enlightening me. And I already told you yesterday, I wouldn't care if you were orange. You're working for me. Like, I want you and your husband and your kids in my sphere, and I want to see you succeed, and you're going to do great things. Because why? You want to learn, your growth is ridiculous, and you won't give up. Like, that's all I care about. That's all I want in my life, because we're going to push it, and we're going to push it hard. And I don't want somebody that right when it gets hard, they give up. Like, dude, this stuff is a game. It's a long game. Dude, I was an alcoholic for 20 years. Should I have just given up? Like, or could that time have served where we are today, right? And how I can help people in their alcoholism and so on and so on. So that's why I love conversations with you, because you're just so open to the facts. And like, I'm even getting more excited about teaching everybody, because it's just going to be so fun. The problem that you're going to have to school me on is I'm going to go too far too quick, because that's just my personality. So we gotta bring it back and just be like, start with the basics. But like, let's talk about where you see yourself in the next couple years. I know you're doing some day trading. Y'all have got some investments. What are you really wanting to show your kids? Like, we talked about a little bit yesterday about you hope that financially you'll be in a great spot. So they can take a little stress off, so they can go to school. Like, that's the kind of when you and your husband sit down at night, what are y'all talking about? How you see the next 3 years, 5 years of your life?
Like I said, our goal is we've in the real estate, getting into real estate, getting the jump start there, doing Airbnb, buying another property, and again, just being open to, how we're going to go about getting it. Sometimes when we've been planning and dreaming, and sometimes we don't have the floor plan, we don't have a blueprint for it, but we're like you said, an open mind and having faith and just believing that it can be done, it will be done. So the goal is to get another property. I really want to be able to at least get enough so all three of my kids will have one. So once we're dead and gone and passed away, there's the start of me passing down wealth. There's the start of me passing down a place for them to be able to stay. Because think about it, if you can remove a person's biggest bill is their rent and their mortgage, you remove that off the table for your children, they already have a heads up. So as Black people, we just have to start being open so we can learn, so we can start at some point passing down generational wealth for our children. Like I said, we do have some investments, so just waiting on those, investments to mature as they slowly rise, so we can take that money and keep it to making money. And like I said, there's still a lot of stuff that I have to learn. So I'm just willing to see what you and Austin have to offer. I know he was telling us about these life insurance where you can pay into those and they have cash value and things like that. So Ryan was teaching me these things. So I'm just open to learning what I can do once I do start making a decent amount of income, where I can put it right back into something else and to continue to make an income.
So I'm going to tell you something. It just popped in my head. You can't fight me on it. It's happening. So just deal with it. Okay. I'm moving to Arizona in a couple weeks, about to start running 2 companies, a lot of transactions in the company. I'm going to take a percentage of every one of my transactions, and I'm going to put it in a fund that Ryan's going to manage, and it's going to be your kids' college money. Yes.
Lost for words.
That's how you make change.
Absolutely.
Because you stepped up and you're deciding that no longer in our family we're going to do this.
Right.
And so I'm going to throw gasoline on the fire.
Absolutely.
And what I've realized in this last 2 months, my whole life has flipped upside down. I've lost my job. Me and my wife got divorced. All these things. that money is a byproduct of you living your true self. And I am a giver at heart. I give value, and it would make me the happiest person on the planet to sit in the audience when all your kids graduate college. So I'm going to take, and I know my boy in Arizona that's working with me is going to be behind me 1,000% because that's how he rolls.
Right.
So I'm going to set it up, and we'll figure out what it is, and I'm going to funnel all that money to Mr. Moneyman Breedwell, and then when they're ready to go to school, we're going to make it happen. So, by the way, I just decided that like 10 seconds ago, so it wasn't like it was planned, like I was trying to stage it. It just popped in my head because that matters to me, and that's the way that you truly affect change. It's the way, because who am I as a person, right? Who am I as a person if I'm not lifting up, right? If I'm not helping? You can have all the money in the world, but like what I care about is when I walk off this earth, like who was I as a person, right? And who did I help, right? Because when I was a meth addict and I was homeless, I had friends that helped me, and in the moment you think of those things as just like they just did them because that's who they are, but like you don't realize in the moment as you look back how much just them being there for you helped. I mean, I could have gone way the other way, and I did for a while, but in the 50 square feet that I slept in for 3 months, eating ham sandwiches, might have not been much, but it was something. It was better than sleeping under an underpass. So that's why I want to do this, because your son doesn't deserve the ridicule. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just a child. And so if I can show him out there that there are people that give a fuck, because I do, and I've never met them, doesn't matter to me. But if I can show them that people that give a fuck are out there, then that gives him hope. And then how many people is he going to affect through that? How much change are we going to make from this one gesture? How many people is he going to go out there and affect? And we talked about it yesterday when I talked to my business partner about that a large portion of the business is going to be is going to be revolved around charity. So as I'm forming the idea in my mind, and sorry, business partners, that I just make up stuff on the fly, but I think what I'm going to do, if you're game, is I want you to be a very integral part, maybe CEO. I haven't even got that far yet, but I want you to be at least on the board of directors to run the charity arm of our businesses. And we're going to go out there and we're going to teach financial education, and we're going to teach empathy, and we're going to teach mindset. Because what I'm realizing as you go down this hole, you go down the rabbit hole, is this is really about your thoughts. It's about your thoughts. And if you are surrounded by negative people, and you're surrounded by if you're surrounded by the systematic, what you're saying, the hopelessness, right? Then that becomes you, right? And it's not through change your environment, change your mental thoughts, change your daily routine that the hope and the abundance it starts leaving you. And it's amazing when your heart is open and when you're accepting of things, that these things start coming to you, and I have a great friend, Rachel. She's a new friend. She's amazing. She's a manifest mindset coach. And she was talking about how you just have, like, it's called like a desperate act, like desperate energy. And when you're desperate energy, you can't create, you can't see the other side of it. It's not until you remove yourself from the survival mindset that the things, I would imagine that was probably what happened for you when things started shifting, and you just create those positive thoughts from such a greater space when you're not reeling all the time. You know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, so I think we're going to do a lot of good stuff together. I'm super excited that we had this talk. You know, for me, you know, we just, I'm just so happy about what y'all are doing and what y'all got going on. And, you know, if you want to share anything else, this is your forum to just go to town. I mean, really, if you want to leave any message with everybody or whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I mean, what we're doing right now, and what we have been doing for these last couple minutes, is what the world needs. You know, at the end of the day, no matter if we're black, white, purple, or indifferent, you know, we all bleed. We all have pain. We all have somebody who loves us, and we all have people that we love. And when we can get back there and care enough for one another, help one another, lift one another up, then that's where we're going to move forward as a unit, as a whole, as a collective whole. And we need one another. Like, so when we can stop this race foolishness, and we can stop all of this stupidity, and we can come together, because I couldn't see myself mistreating a kid of any color. You know, I can't see it. I don't understand. I can't fathom it. I can't make the connection at all. And so we got to especially leave our innocent kids out of our grown folks' midst. This race thing, this foolishness, this is grown folk stuff. I watch kids come up to my 6-year-old Indian white, like, hey, you want to play? You want to go do this? You want to do dolls? You want to do, I mean, it's taught behavior. And we have to stop teaching the foolishness in our black communities. We have to stop passing down the foolishness. And my white friends, we have to stop passing down that foolishness. So I just wanted to stop. I want us to start seeing everybody as human beings that love, that bleed. There's somebody who loves me. There's somebody who loves you. Mm-hmm. And everybody has somebody who they love and somebody who loves them. And so before we take lives and mistreat people and hurt people, let's think about it thoroughly. Because that officer wasn't thinking about George Floyd and his 5 kids that he left. He had kids somebody that loved him. Mm-hmm. You know, so we can stop looking at people as material things, as property, and start looking at people as a whole. People who love, people who bleed, people who have pain, hope, sorrow. We are at the core of who we are. If you cut my skin and you cut yours, we both gonna bleed red.
Amen. And so here's the deal. This is what happens when you get me thinking, because now my heart is really full. And I'm about to take it to another level. You ready? All right. So
I'm really crying. I'm really look, I'm a G at heart. Let me tell you. Wait, growing up the way I grew up, no, you wait. Growing up the way I grew up, I had to be very, very tough. So I'm like really like a gangster at heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see the pretty face.
But let me tell you something. I can melt anybody's heart. It's my special power. So you ready for it? Because I'm doing it. I don't even care. This is on me. Not only are your kids going to be the first kind of that we put in the charity, I'm also going to sponsor, and we're going to work together, and we're going to create the Mel Clark University. And it's going to be, we're going to give out scholarships, and we're going to put kids and whoever wants to be in there, we're going to teach them mindset, investing, the whole nine. I'm going to dedicate my time to growing this with you, and we're just going to go to town, and we're going to work together. It matters to me. This is why I was put on this earth, is to help people. And I've never felt more drawn to something in my entire life. So I know that I mean it when I say that. It's not just me saying it and forgetting about it an hour from now.
Right.
It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't like easy. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it together. And, you know, I've got other people that I know want to be involved too. So, you know, we'll do what we got to do, and we'll work the process out. But I can't, I mean, that last statement that you said, I'm going to play back for myself. It is the truth. If we just have love, I think true story. I just use a true story because I can sit on it. So one of my ex-business partners, he had a drug addiction too, alcoholism, all that kind of stuff. And we were bickering about something that happened a year ago. There's still feelings there, obviously. Money was lost. people, hurt feelings got hurt. And at the end of the statement, at the end of the call, at the end of the text, I said, you know what? Doesn't matter. I was like, we both been in way worse places than this. And I'm not saying that the feelings will go away, but it's just like, it doesn't matter. Like in the big scheme of things. And I had alcohol. Look, African Americans have alcoholism. I had alcohol problems, and we spend our lives acting like we're the only race or the only person that has the problems. And one of the greatest gifts my friend ever told me, Brad Johnson, he changed my entire life with this statement. He said that, Austin, when you wake up and you walk around this world and you realize that everybody's hurting inside, you'll have empathy and compassion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're all fighting battles. We're all fighting battles that even though we might not speak of, I just rather talk about mine because it makes life easier. But a lot of people are not honest with themselves or are just too scared of the judgment that's going to come along with these things. Being a teenage mom, you talking about your alcoholism, being on drugs and things like that. There's the things that we suffer from and we struggle with. I mean, you and I are just really honest people. We put it out front and it's better to deal with them. I tell people all the time, it's very good to get things out front and be honest because nobody can ever use you against you.
Yes. Amen.
When you face you, nobody can ever use you against you. And we, like you said, we will be more empathetic with one another when we know that everybody has a battle that we're fighting. Nobody's going through life unless you're like 4 years old and not a care in the world, But there are even kids who are fighting different things. They have health issues. They have problems. They have things that are going on. So we just need to be a little bit more empathetic to one another and just get back to love. Because at the end of the day, God is love. And we can just build a life on love. It gets no different. It gets no better than that. You can't get past love. And
the ultimate love is self-love. And what people don't understand is you can't truly give yourself to another person. You can't be who you need to be until you love yourself.
Absolutely.
And the world only asks one thing out of you: to be the best version of yourself. That's it.
And superpower. That's your superpower.
That's your superpower. And when you do that, light opens up. And one of my friends told me this, and we'll leave it at this. He said, Austin, I've never met somebody, it's just him talking about me. I'm not talking about myself, guys, so calm down. He said, I've never met somebody that has such a bright light. Like it's such a bright light. Like you just radiate light. He said, but realize that you're not a light. You're a lighthouse. And light passes through you and you're standing firm. And you're allowing people, you're giving them the look, right? And you're showing them the light. But ultimately, you can't be their light.
Right.
And that's when I was like, okay, it all starts with the self. Everything's the self.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I tell, I make a point too, and we can close on that. But before the whole COVID-19 thing taking place, I was doing a women's brunch. It was called Fill Your Cup, and I tell them all the time, like, you fill your cup, and everything that overflows is for everybody else. You can't operate on an empty cup. So keep your cup full. Self-love, take care of you, pray, meditate, run, jog, whatever it is that makes you feel whole. And the overflow is what's for everybody else. You cannot be the best mom, the best dad, the best husband, the best wife, the best friend, the best network, business, whatever. You can't be that in its full capacity when you're operating from an empty cup.
Amazing. Mel, no bullshit. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I've never spent a more important hour of my entire life than right now. If this doesn't change you, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I mean, that's just me and being honest. I don't know what to say.
The world needs this.
Yes.
The world needs this. You're talking about two people from two different races, from two demographics that has never freaking really met one another. Like, that's the part that blows me behind all of this. The fact that you can have so much love and chemistry for a person that from two different walks of life, despite what the world may try to divide us and put between us. But if we can both stand on love, we can both stand on. I'm a firm believer in God. If we can stand on those two things, and we can make it, we can do anything we want to do. And the thing about it is we've never met each other. So people be like, what? He's got this kind of chemistry. He's doing all this for a crazy black woman he's never met. What's wrong with these people?
You know why I'm doing all that for you? Because you're a crazy black woman. and I'm a crazy white guy, so it's perfect.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I said, they're the same people from different. They're the same kind of people from no matter what the race. They're crazy white people. They're crazy black people. Racist black people. That's why. It's just we're great. We're great.
I love
and I just think that with our diversity, it was here for a reason. Our relationship was destined to be.
I agree.
I'm happy.
I agree.
We're gonna be all right.
I'm blessed, and I feel more positive than I felt in a couple of days. Watching all this go down. So, how can they? While we close up here, how can they find you on social media, Instagram? I know you're going to be launching some coaching stuff soon. So. Yes.
So I'm working, and so you can find me on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram than I am on my Facebook. At _Mel Clark, and that's where you can find me.
Mm-hmm. And she's a hoot, guys. So
Clark, just like that.
You're gonna love it. Well, guys, thank you so much. Please share this with your friends. I really don't even care if you rate us. Just spread it, send it. It needs to go viral. Thank you so much for coming, Mel. I appreciate it so much.
All righty. Next time.
Thank you for listening to Construct Your Life with Austin Linney. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to start constructing your life by taking immediate action on what you learned. For show notes, resources, and more information on one-on-one coaching with Austin, visit constructyourlifepodcast.com.